Welcome to the PythonSpot Learn Python series. You can find more on pythonspot.com or follow on Twitter at PythonSpot. In this video we'll get into inheritance. So it's a slightly more complicated topic. So you should have seen the classes video first. So we define a class a user which you will use to create users. Within every user has a name, and of course we can initialize a user, which is a constructor, with that name. So this is called onCreation, if you recall. So here we have a class which is used to create objects. Now we can create virtual objects. So in this case we don't have to specify new, just user, and of course we can create a series of users. So there we go. It created 3 new objects: Brian, Vivian and Bob, from the class user. And this class only has a construction. It has no other methods. But what if we have different types of users? So they might need different types of behavior. For example, a user that's an administrator might have different rights than a user that's simply a user. So we can do sub-specification in which we extend the functionality of an object. So that sounds very complicated, but it's more simple than you imagine. So let's first add some function to the user. So the function called who am I, and this will return the name of the user. It's a very simple function. So if we would call bob.who am I, it will return its name. So very basic. But now we will create another class, which is called the administrator class, or let's just call it the boss class. So of course a boss would have more power than a normal user, and the boss can give work. This is very simple. Give work, and of course gives work. So only an object created with the boss class could give work, because the other class doesn't have this function. But of course a boss would also need to be able to have a name and the basic user functionality. So what we can do in Python is to inherit the properties and the methods of the class user in the boss class. So to do so we specify user here, and then any object created from the boss class also has this code. So create a new boss, which is me. I'm very modest and this boss is me. So create a new boss object with my name, and I can of course use the function who am I, because this we specified this user, which kind of copies this code in this class, so you have extended class without needing to rewrite everything. So we have all of these functions because we specified user there. And of course the boss can also give work. And forgot the self keyword here, which is always necessary. So we have two kind of users now, which is the boss and the normal user. And the boss has additional functionality that's specified in the boss class. And to get the normal functionality in this object as well, we specified the original class in parentheses. So this principle is called inheritance, and I suggest you play around with it. It's a very useful property in object-oriented programming.